Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new video. Cookie Alliance has reset yet again, and now we are in Season 16, which means new waves, but also new teams. I did not make a video on Cookie Alliance last season, but last season was quite easy, as many know, and a lot of the teams that you use are very similar to the ones from last season. I will be only using 3 teams in this. I have seen people only use 1 team or 2 teams, but I feel like these 3 is the safest option to take. So, let's get right into the teams. First of all, our main team will be Brood, Macaron, Moonlight, Squid Ink, and Cream Puff. You can replace Brood with either Yam or Hollyberry, but I feel like Brood works the best for me. So, right into the toppings. For Brood, just before running DR, you can get some attack speed if needed, but it's not that important honestly. Then, Macaron, full cooldown, get some cooldown subs, get some DR subs, both are very appreciated. Then, Moonlight. If you don't have Moonlight yet, you could probably replace her by either BP or Espresso, but Moonlight is definitely the better call here. Anyway, for her you want full cooldown with, again, damage as a substats and cooldown substats. Then, Squid Ink. They will be using a full attack set, of course you do want their candy, and just focus again on damage resist and attack if you can. Then, Cream Puff. Cream Puff definitely needs a level 10 candy here, because then she buffs your allies. If you don't have a level 10 candy Cream Puff, then you can also use Carol with a full cooldown set. But I will be using Cream Puff with a full crit set, and I focus on crit and damage as a subset. Now, for their treasures, they will be using the Scroll, Whistle, and Clock. If you don't have Whistle on a very high level, if it's like level 1 or 2, you can also use Sight if you want to, but Whistle is definitely better. Anyway, for the second team. This team is very only for like 2 waves. You technically don't even need it, but I did it just to be safe. It's a kind of injury-esque team. Anyway, right into it. The Cacao. Full DR standard for attack. You could probably mix it with attack as well, but I just went full DR to be safe. Then Werewolf. I am just running him on my guild set, which is a full crit. If this doesn't feel safe enough, you can increase his damage resist or put full damage resist as a whole on him. Then Espresso. Definitely want his level 10 magic candy here, because then he does extra damage to stun immune enemies as well, which is very good. But you want him to have quite a bit of damage resist and just focus on attack and crit subs. Then Black Pearl. She will be running a very similar set to Espresso, which is a attack set focused on damage resist, but of course getting attack and crit substats if possible. Then for my pure vanilla, I am just using the set I was always using in Arena, which is a mix of 2 cooldown and 3 damage resist, but you can also just use full cooldown or full damage resist. I just find this to be the most convenient. And the treasures are the same as for the first team, which is Scroll, Whistle, and Clock. Now, the last team. This team will be used to one-shot like 2 boss waves, which are pretty annoying to deal with. Then, team itself, Milky Way, Sharp, Caviar, Rye, and Almond. Almond does not need to be like level 75 or Sunlit or anything. He's just good that way. So, right into the toppings. For Milky Way, I'm just using full damage resist. I've seen people use cooldown, but I think damage resist is safer because I don't want her to randomly die and take the revive when she doesn't need to. Then, Sharp will just be using a standard full cooldown set. Maybe get some damage resist substats if needed on all of them, but I don't think it's actually required. But, of course, it doesn't hurt. Then, Caviar, just get a full attack set. You can honestly focus on attack and not really go for damage resist. I just threw onto him what I had. Definitely works enough. Then for Rye, you want her to be on full attack with her magic candy level 10 and just focus on as much attack and crit as you possibly can. Just make her as strong as she can be. And for Almond, his toppings don't really matter. Look how awful this is. You can even use the full QEs if you really want to. Just as long as you're not using cooldown, it's good. So just use full damage resist. And for treasures will be Scroll, Sight, and Whistle. I've also seen people use the Honey Crown instead of Sight, but I feel like, especially if your Honey Crown is low level, I feel like Sight is a bit more useful because it affects everyone and Honey Crown only affects probably your Rye. So yeah, that's it for the teams. You don't use a 4th or a 5th team at all. It's just those 3, which makes it a lot easier to build, so because you don't have to spread your toppings around. For me, this gets me definitely into Masters 1, at least on pure vanilla server, but this could get pushed down after a while. I assume that the requirement for Master 1 is going to go up quite a bit, especially when the new cookies drop. If they are any of these two classes, that would help them a lot as well. But yeah, let's go right into the run. It's probably going to be all for me, so on we go. Why do I always say it'll be all for me and then just proceed to talk right after? Just me not editing well. Anyway, has anyone else experienced Alliance being so much laggier now? If anyone has any tips to reduce the lags, I would greatly appreciate it. Because most of the time, right before I get to a wave, it mildly freezes and I don't like it for recording. So thank you, if anyone knows. Important to keep a note about this wave. The boss will randomly select one of your cookies to take down to 10% HP. If the boss happens to select your tank, which is your brute, or even your yam or your hollyberry, you should reset the wave by going out of the run and then just going back into it, which will make the boss target someone else. You want it to target anyone but your tank because it's easy to heal them back up to full.
Darkness, be gone!
Has awoken! Escape this! I will not falter!
Darkness, be gone!
Has awoken! Escape this! I will not falter! Winter is approaching!
You have the right to remain silent! Ha ha! Who do we got next?